Okay, here we are. So, Michael Toole, artist, photographer extraordinaire. So, what fascinates or inspires you?
Uh, well, I guess, story-wise, in terms of how I came to be an artist, is more a reflection of both of my parents, really. My mom painted all the time,
Hmm.
and I always kind of painted with her and was into the colors and everything else. And then my father was an amateur photographer, more like a frustrated accountant. He didn't like being an accountant, but he certainly liked taking pictures.
So, that was his escape.
Yeah, and he taught that to me. And you know, as I grew up and kind of got a job, I didn't particularly like working in prison. It was kind of my escape. So, and then I just stopped doing the other job and doing this full time. So that's
Hmm.
kind of where it comes from.
And how does that inspiration affect what you produce?
Um, a lot of people say, like, I don't know if I can get a piece in here, but
Yeah, for sure. Let's see one.
here's like one of the light series, but then there's shots like this that sort of are all
Yeah.
kind of broken up.
Yep.
And I use a lot of that in my imagery, and people say that, it's all about spaces and, connections and,
Yep.
separation. So I think there's a lot of that in my work. And it might just be a function of how, I see things or how my mind works or what I've seen. But I think it all gets in there.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And can you just say a little bit about your preferred medium? So you're doing the photography, but then how are you producing it for sale?
I work a lot. Currently, I do a lot of my stuff. I present it on acrylic with metallic paper, just because there's a metallic quality about a lot of the work that I produce, or it lends itself to that. But I also work with resin for finishing, and I put that on artist boards. But I'll also, here, I'll get a shot of something I did before. I'm just going to turn the
Yeah,
camera around.
let's see. Oh, okay.
I made this piece, which is huge. It started off being a commission, and then it switched into something else. So I have this piece here, and it's, say, 64 by 55, and it's actually a window frame that I got from a construction site.
Oh, that's cool.
And I smashed all the glass out of it, and I made each piece to go into the frame. So they created the entire image, which is the Flatiron building, sort of captured within window panes.
Yeah.
And I do a lot of that on computer as well, so you can see that as well. This is
Oh, yeah, that's good.
That's not actually in a frame, but it still appears like it is. And
So,
that's on,
Michael, is that one a photo, or that's also in a window?
that's a photo. So
Yeah,
it's
that's a photo.
a layered photo. So you have two photos there, the actual window and then the Flatiron building, and they're mixed together.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah.
Do you like that look? Do you have any samples in your space of the windows that you do with the elements, like kind of like your first one, where it's not exactly a picture of one thing?
Yeah, I have, let me turn it around again. I have this one, which I
Oh,
think you've
yes.
seen before.
Yeah.
And that's on board with resin. So that's one that I've actually laminated on an artist board and put resin over top of.
That one is actually one of my favorites. You call that one spin?
Fun.
Spun.
Yeah.
Sorry. Spun.
Yeah. And then I make a whole bunch of smaller bits as well.
Yeah. I like that one.
Yes. And then there's, the metallic prints, which I also print on metal.
Yep.
And these are the light series. They're shots of projections, and they were moving, and I shot them in the dark.
Cool.
So you get a really cool sort of imagery out of those that I really like them. They're really
No, I think they're lovely. Yeah, no, those are good. Can you tell me about your creative process? So you go out and take a number of photos, or do you book a couple of nights, or what do you do? Do you try and catch the lighting a certain way, or you figure you can work with that after, or what are you doing?
Well, a lot of times with say nature scenes like trees or just things that catch my eye, I tend to actually go back to the scene probably 3 or 4 times before I ever shoot it.
Like this
Just
one,
because I
right?
see, yes. And I see it and I think about it and I think what I would do with it if I did take the picture. And then I go and I take it. And I've already usually got an idea what I want to do with it at that point. But then if it's, say, a cityscape, those tend to come, like if I see it and I see really neat reflections in it or something like that,
Yep.
I'll just take it right away. So here's one from New York City,
Yeah, I love
which
that one.
is, oh, sorry, I spun it around, but it's, I hate to say which building it is, but it's in New York City. It's just by Central Park. And what I really liked about it is the older buildings, the older architecture is reflected in this really, really modern building.
Yep.
And it has all these geometric patterns going through it, which really struck me. So I think it really came out
I think
interesting.
that speaks to other people too, right?
Yeah,
I mean, that must be one of your better sellers, I think.
yeah, people really, really do like that one. And it's one of my favorites, actually. I have it hanging, actually, in my living room. So uh, I kept one for myself because I like it so
That's good. Yeah, no, that is good. No, I like the thought of you know, you're like, for example, do you take a camera with you everywhere? Are you using your phone or what are you using?
I always have, I call it the car camera. Every couple of years, I buy a new camera, and the one that is a couple of years or 3 years old is always in the car.
Oh, okay.
And it usually has probably my favorite lens on it, and it just stays in there. And then if I see something, then it's always there.
Hmm.
And if I go for a walk, I'll take it with me. And then if it's really special, it's one that I keep going back to. I go get the new camera and I take the tripod and I go out and I take it. So here's another tree from. It's different than the one you have there.
I
It's
love
very
those trees. Yep.
and that's one that I kept going back to, and I didn't take it, and then finally I did, and I really like the way it came out. You can't see it a lot, but there's a lot of texture in the foreground. Very interesting, and it's on that metallic paper as well.
Yep. So it's kind of luminous, right?
And when the certain light catches it, it almost goes silver. So it's really a cool piece.
Yeah, I do like that piece actually. Can I see it just on a bit of a side angle? Can we get
Yep.
some light reflected on it?
You can sort of see where it,
Yeah,
and it's very thin and
right.
hangs. Leaves
Yeah.
a drop shadow on the wall. It almost looks framed when it's hung up.
Oh, I love that piece. That's actually a really nice piece. Does it have, do you have others like it, or is that the only one like that one?
They're all, this one's called In the Cold, but I have a whole series that I called Alone because generally the trees that I take are on their own
Yep.
and generally no leaves on them because I seem to think they look more alive to me when there's no leaves on them. But
Mm-hmm.
might
You
be
can see
just
their
my
character.
perspective. Yeah, but I've taken a lot of them as well where I've shot a light at them in the fog.
Yep.
And it confuses the camera a bit and it doesn't know what to grab. So it'll take whatever's the darkest in the image and apply whatever it thinks is there in terms of color. So they get almost spotty, but there's a whole range of colors in it that aren't really there. And they almost look very ghostly when they're done.
Oh, that's cool.
I don't,
So, like if somebody wanted a set of those, you have others.
yeah, there's 6 of them now. And they're all kind of a little bit different, but if there is a gentleman that I sold some to in New York City that has 4 of them, and they're all together, and they look very, very nice together. So there's something.
So he did like a set of 4 on a wall, or how did he do it?
He bought. I think his kitchen is very long, and then at one end, so they're kind of in an L in his kitchen. So.
Oh, cool.
and then there's windows all on the other side, so it looks pretty spectacular, actually.
Yeah, I can imagine. I love that. So Michael, tell me, when you're at your art fairs, often is where you sell your pieces. I
Yep.
didn't send you this question. I just thought of it now. What's some of the favorite things that people say to you about your art?
Um, just that they say it's different, and they not seen anything like it. I really like that because I kind of strive for that.
Mhm.
Because I try with everything I do not to copy anybody or do something that is kind of been done. I try to make it my own as much as possible.
Yeah.
And I'm always kind of messing around with different things. The current thing I'm messing with now is graffiti. Uh,
Oh,
I've always been sort of amazed by it, and I like to look at it. I photograph it all the time, and I'm trying to incorporate that into like artwork to
I'd
do
like to
something.
see some of those when you have some ready.
I tried to do something different, so I do have one here. It's just a sort of a
Okay.
beginning. I can kind of show you. I don't know how well it's going to film, but what I did was I took the graffiti and I made a skyline of Toronto out of it,
Oh, neat.
and I put it against a different background. So that's kind of the beginning.
Yep.
And the current one that's sitting here isn't done yet. But what I'm doing is I'm actually taking graffiti and I'm also painting on it, and painting my own graffiti on top of graffiti. So
That's
that'll
kind of
be
interesting.
yeah. So it has different, I guess, words in it, and it has meanings. One of them, the one I'm working on, is actually has some things about what's going on right now in it as well. So,
Yep. Can you just go over your background, because it's unique, the jobs that you've had up
Mhm.
until now?
Well, when I was going through university, I actually took a social work degree, and all of the placements that I had were in corrections. So I ended up working in YWAY facilities, and I worked for the Children's Aid Society. And when I got out of university, I actually ended up working for the Correctional Service Canada and started as in KP at Kingston Penitentiary, and it kind of my career kind of followed me till I kind of quit it to become an artist and just do this full time. But
Which I'm sure is much better for your soul.
yeah, and I think as I did more shows and kind of got away from it, the less I wanted to be in it, and
Yeah.
sort of where I'm at, and I haven't regretted it. So.
No, I guess not. I think it's fabulous, the work that you do, for sure.
And it certainly makes me much happier to do this. So.
Absolutely. Makes us happy too.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, no, it's really good. Of the pieces that I've sold for you, yeah,
right
no,
away.
the clients just love them, for sure.
That's good. I always like to hear that too.
Oh, for sure. And every time I see them, they talk more about them.
I have a lot of return customers, so that's always good as well.
Oh, yeah, I think so. Anyway, thanks so much, Michael.